Barry needs 8 pieces of wood, each 18 inches long, for a project. The lumber store has the shortest sections of wood at 2 feet long. So he's going to buy 8 pieces so that he can cut them down to the 18 inches that he needs. How many inches does he need to remove from each of the 8 pieces for his project? So for this one, we have 2 feet long pieces that he's buying, and he needs 18 inches long for a project. In other words, the conversion we need is that 1 foot equals 12 inches. And we're going to write this conversion as a unity fraction. And a unity fraction is just going to be a fraction using this conversion. So I can either write it as 1 foot over 12 inches, or I can write it as 12 inches over 1 foot. Now it's called a unity fraction because 1 foot is the same distance as 12 inches. So really, this just equals 1. It's the same distance, and so it equals 1. That's why it's called a unity. Now, 2 feet equals how many inches? The way we're going to do this is we're going to take 2 feet and we're going to multiply it. 2 feet is the same thing as 2 feet over 1. I'm going to multiply it by one of these two unity fractions. What I want to do is I want to cancel the unit of feet and be left with the unit of inches. That's the unit that I want. So I'm going to write feet on bottom with 12 inches on top. So this is my unity fraction that comes directly from this conversion. And what I notice here is that I have a feet on top and a feet on bottom. They cancel. And so now I have, this is just multiplying fractions. So I'm going to go straight across the top. 2 times 12 is 24. And on top I only have inches. And on bottom I have 1 times 1 is 1, which is just going to be 24 inches. So 2 feet equals 24 inches. I multiplied by this specific unity fraction so that the units cancel and leaves me with the unit that I desire, which is inches. And he wants 18 inches long for the project. Each of the pieces that he buys, right, are 2 foot pieces. Each one's 2 feet, or in other words, 24 inches. So he's going to remove 24 minus 18, 6 inches from each piece, and that gives him his desired piece length. So this is how a unit conversion works. We're going to take the unit we have, which was 2 feet here, and we're going to multiply it by some unity fraction that comes from a conversion. And then what gives us is the units that we want. That's going to come from the result of the fraction when we simplify everything down. That's the process, right? We're going to find the unit conversion or conversions necessary to convert the unit that we have to the desired. We're going to write each conversion as a unity fraction, and we're going to orient it so that the undesired units cancel. One on top, one on bottom will cancel them. And then perform multiplication and simplify, making sure the desired units have. Of course, how do you find these conversions? You're either going to need to look them up online or use some kind of a table like this one here and find the unit you want. You can use the abbreviations here and just find the one that you're trying to convert to and from. So for instance, if you wanted to convert 4 pounds to blank ounces, so 4 pounds to ounces, this is a weight measurement. We're going to look underneath weight, and I have 1 pound is 16 ounces. So I need to convert 4 pounds, or 4 pounds over 1, times, and I can either write it as 1 pound on top or 1 pound on bottom. I want to get rid of the pounds, so I'm going to write 1 pound on bottom, and the 16 ounces is going to go on top. So 1 pound is 16 ounces. This is the unity fraction. And pounds cancel. We get 4 times 16 is 64 ounces on the top. 1 times 1 is 1, which is just going to be 64 ounces. Okay, we wanted to convert 10 yards to feet. So I'm going to look up here. I see that 1 yard equals 3 feet. This is a length measurement, so 1 yard equals 3 feet. So I have 10 yards over 1 times, I'm going to put yard on the bottom, so that way the yards cancel. And then the 3 feet is going to go on top. And you can see that the yards cancel. We're left with just the unit feet. 10 times 3 is 30 feet over 1, or just 30 feet. Okay, we have 2.4 pints equals how many cups? This is a liquid capacity. So we have cups. 1 pint equals 2 cups. So if we're going to have 2.4 pints, that's 2.4 over 1 times, we're going to have 1 pint on the bottom, so that way pints cancel, and we have 2 cups on top. Pints, of course, cancel. We get 2.4 times 2 is 4.8 cups. That's the only unit left. And then on 1 on bottom, in the words 4.8 cups is the same thing as 2.4 pints. Okay, ounces to pounds. I'm going to use the same unity fraction I used for this one, which was 1 pound equals 16 ounces. But now I'm converting ounces to pounds instead of pounds to ounces. So I'm going to have 18 ounces over 1. And I'm going to have 16 ounces on bottom and 1 pound on top. So you can see that the ounces cancel. And we have 18 times 1 is 18 pounds. That's the unit on top there. And 1 times 16 is 16. So we're going to have 18 over 16. I can put this in a calculator and simplify it. You can also just reduce it right by 2 on top and bottom to give you 9 over 8. But 9 over 8 is the same thing as 1.125 pounds. Okay, 100 inches equals how many feet? Well, there are 12 inches in a foot. So I'm going to write it as 100 over 1, right? 100 over inches over 1 times by, there are 12 inches in 1 foot. The inches cancel, 1 on top, 1 on bottom. So I get 100 over 12 feet. 100 over 12, you can, of course, divide by 2 there. It's going to give you 50 over 6. Divide by 2 again. That'd be 25 over 3. That's the same thing as 8.3 repeating. So 8.33. And it continues indefinitely, so I'm just going to round to 2 places there. Okay, for this one we have 10,235 pounds equals how many tons? And that's a mass. There's 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. The capital T is the same thing as ton. So one ton equals 2,000 pounds. So we're going to do 10,235 pounds over 1 times 2,000 pounds is 1 ton. Pounds cancel. And so we can see we get 10,235 tons over 2,000. Putting that in a calculator, 10,235 over 2,000, I get 5.1175 tons. All right, Sarah needs 1.5 cups of ketchup for a recipe. She has a 20-ounce bottle of ketchup on hand. How much of the bottle does she need? So we have 1.5 cups and 20 ounces. So we can either think of this as how many cups are in this bottle, or we can think of it as how many ounces does she need of ketchup. Either way, you should get the same answer. So let's kind of look at them both. We have 1.5 cups. Well, cups to ounces is going to be right here in a liquid capacity. There are 8 fluid ounces in a cup. Fluid ounces and mass ounces are different things. They're not the same thing. So 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces. 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces. That's what this is referencing, fluid ounces, because ketchup is a fluid. It's a liquid, not a mass that we're talking about there. Okay, so we're going to have 1.5 cups over 1 times 1 cup is 8 ounces I'm just going to drop the fluid part so it's just faster to write. And get 1.5 times 8 is going to give you 12 ounces over 1. So 12 ounces is how much she needs of the bottle. Of course, we're talking about 12 over 20, which is going to be divided by 4. It's going to be 3/5 of the bottle. Likewise, we can ask how many cups are in a 20-ounce bottle. That's going to be the same kind of idea. 20 ounces over 1 times 8 ounces for 1 cup. We get 20 over 8 cups in that. And that's going to reduce down to 5 over 2 if you divide top and bottom by 4. So there's 5/2 cups, or in other words, 2.5. There's 2.5 cups in 20 ounces. So she needs 1.5 of that. 2.5, 1.5, that's still 3/5 of the bottle. Either way you solve it, you get the same answer. Okay, the lifespan of a common housefly is around 8 days. How many hours is this? How many minutes? So you can, of course, go back to the table. We're going to look at days to minutes. There's, of course, 24 hours in a day. So we know that how many hours it's going to be. So if we have 8 days, we get 1 day is 24 hours. Days cancel, and we get 8 times 24 over 1, which is just going to be 8 times 24. I'm going to do that on a calculator. Yeah, 192. 192 hours. That's how many hours that is. And now we can take the hours that we just found and change them into minutes. There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. And you can see the hours cancel. So we're just going to have to do 192 times 60. And that gives us 11,520 minutes. So either 192 hours or 11,520 minutes. A 10K race is about 6.2 miles. How many feet is this? So 6.2 miles, if we go back up to the conversion table, I have 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So 6.2 miles is 1 mile, 5,280 feet. Of course, the miles cancel. And we get 6.2 times 5,280. I'm getting 32,736 feet. And it says the average step is about 3 feet long. How many steps is a 10K? So if this is how many feet it is, and this thing, what's being said here is that the average step is 3 feet long. In other words, 1 step is 3 feet. This is a unit conversion. So we're going to take 32,736 feet over 1 and multiply it by the unity fraction. I'm going to do 3 feet on bottom and 1 step on top. And you can see I'm going to multiply across, the feet cancel, and we're going to get 32,736 over 3 steps. Plugging it in a calculator, I get 10,912 steps.